What's up, everybody? Jensen Cummings here. Thank you, as always, for tuning in. Today is Best Served Podcast 403. We're talking restaurant branding tips from Single Tree Barbecue's journey to become the Nike of barbecue. We're going to get into that. We're going to have Charlie Eblen on with us, founder, pitmaster, branding extraordinaire out there in Tennessee. This is really important. I've talked about this in a multitude of ways, how we've tried to be everything for everyone too often in the restaurant industry, how we don't say no, which doesn't mean you always should say yes. We've tried to be too much. And I think absolutely, if you are not known for one thing, you'll be known for nothing. And that's playing out more and more in the business model of any type of food and beverage and hospitality. And so the opportunity to really carve out a really focused micro niche for yourself, I think is going to be absolutely mission critical. And I love the idea of taking iconic food like barbecue and iconic branding and messaging and direction, like something like Nike, or our friend out Cali Barbecue. I'm repping for my barbecue people today. Sean out there in San Diego talks about being the Amazon Prime of barbecue. What does that mean? How do we mainstream some of the businesses, the ideologies that allow brands to really expand and accelerate and target their market and own their customer? And so I love this approach. So enough babbling. I want to bring Charlie in here so he can talk to us about it. Charlie, man, good to see you.
Good to see you. I love it. Thanks for having me on.
Branding, look at the branding. You got it everywhere. I love it.
Yeah, buddy.
You got it.
Always be branding. I learned that from our friend Matt Plapp. Always be branding.
Yes.
Yeah.
America's Best Restaurants. Matt Plop does a really good job, right?
Yeah.
All he wears is bright orange all the time because he knows that's his team colors. That's basically, you're getting people to try and fly your team colors, which is,
look, it's funny because he always wears that bright ass orange, and and he keeps telling me, man, I'm coming to see you. And like 2 weeks ago, we just opened a restaurant and this guy walks in, he had his bright ass orange sweatshirt on. I was like, oh, it's Matt. No, it's not Matt.
Other people wear bright orange.
Well,
like I'm in top Nikes.
I'm in Tennessee, so there's a lot of orange.
There's a lot of volunteer orange out there. All right, give people a real quick, for anybody who doesn't know, Single Tree out there in Tennessee. Give us a little bit of the arc and background before we get into barbecue.
Yeah, for sure. So Single Tree Woodfire Barbecue, it started as a farm in Bell Buckle, Tennessee. It was my grandfather's. He always wanted to have a restaurant, never had one. When I lost my job in 2020, I said, hey, let's get rocking. And my wife said, here's the push off the edge, go start your own company and depend on yourself, not anybody else. Right. And an amazing woman gave me the courage and to step off that ledge. And so when we decided fully to start our own, Single Tree was going to be the name of the company. So kind of a little bit of a legacy towards my grandfather, family, community, the whole 9 yards. So, and now here we are.
It's only been 2.5 years.
Yeah. 2.5 years. 2.5 years. We went from
meteoric rise, my friend,
buying a 250 gallon offset smoker and doing catering orders for the holidays in 2020, to buying a food truck, a big 24-foot big old trailer that we drag around everywhere for that. And then we've now gotten a concession stand deal with the largest college in Middle Tennessee, Middle Tennessee State University. So we do basketball, baseball, and football. We've opened our restaurant. We launched our podcast, Single Tree Nation. Yeah, it's we're hustling and shaking and moving and getting it done.
You are executing on so many of the thesis statement that our core group between yourself, me, Sean, like that team, Troy Hooper, Kyle and Sarah, we really, really believe in and preach these things, and you're living it. So appreciate you doing that. All right. What the hell does the Nike of barbecue mean? Sounds good. How are you thinking about it? And then let's talk about some of the action steps that's going to take for anybody out there who's watching, listening, who's starting out, who's struggling to find their identity, who needs that push themselves. I want to go down some rabbit holes for them.
Yeah.
What the hell does Nike of barbecue mean?
So, look, man, when I started this company, I wanted to be involved in the community. I wanted to help people. It's been my thesis my whole life is to help teach, coach, and mentor others, and just kind of stop talking and just start doing.
Mm.
So when I was really thinking about what's the mission of Single Tree Barbecue, what are we trying to accomplish? Because I always work backwards, right? What's the end
Yes.
game? And Nike, they didn't start to, make running shoes. They didn't start to, make sweatpants and sweatshirts and hats. They wanted to help people, right? They wanted to be the street lights in the street for people to go run, to kind of guide the way. They wanted to build a product to help you become a better athlete, to help you become better at your craft. So with Single Tree, we want to do the exact same thing. We want to help build and grow community through online storytelling, digital hospitality, and the perfect plate of barbecue. And so it just all full circle just kind of hits everything that we want to be. When I'm done and can't work anymore, I want to have a legacy of, yeah, we produce some amazing barbecue, but we left a path in our wake of just help and community, and people know that they can call me, and we will do everything in our power to help.
Yeah. And oh, by the way, the barbecue has to be fired,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Like, I think this
Yeah.
is an interesting dynamic that happens a lot
Yeah.
when we talk about storytelling. We talk about not just what's on the plate, but who gets to the plate, why it's on the plate, how it gets to the plate. Like the depth of that story is so important, because otherwise, as you're, we get into that a lot. And people say,
Yeah.
well, I mean, I came up as a chef. Well, you're only as good as your next plate up. It's all
Yeah.
about your expression of on the plate, and everything else will take care of itself. And that was never actually true, less true now than ever before. Yet the barrier to entry is like, your food has to be really, really good. It has to be fire. It has to be the right value for what you're offering. It has to be experiential. All those things are absolutely true. Yet those are usually the things that we're already good at. So what are the things that we're not good at? And we're not good at going beyond and talking about the whole depth of the story. We're only good at being like, look at
Yeah.
my brisket, look at my brisket, look at my brisket. And so,
Right.
all right, and yeah, the brisket better
Yeah.
be good, better look good. You better have those food porn shots, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
I just saw a post you on TikTok. Love that you're embracing short form vertical video. And
Oh
it's
yeah.
not just kids lip syncing and dancing and stupid trends. Like, it is matured up. Your
Doing the
audience, whatever
gritty.
type of food, they're on there, right? Your audience is
Yeah.
on TikTok. Mhm.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And you were just in front early in the morning. You had just started the fire, whatever time that was, and you're
Mhm.
talking about adding somebody to your team.
Yeah.
And I love that, because I cannot look at another fucking post that says hiring line cooks, $15 an hour, based on experience. Hit me up, apply here. Like,
Yeah.
inspire me, please, please.
Yeah.
Why was that important for you to do? Let's talk about that, because your brand is about bringing people into barbecue, having that
Yeah.
be a focal point of community. So how is that representing, again, kind of the Nike of barbecue? You in front of the pit, talking about bringing somebody onto your team.
Look, man, I think to be a leader in any industry, no matter what, you have to do what you say, right? You have to be the guy that that takes the trash out. You got to be the guy that washes dishes. You got to be the guy that mans the pit. And man in the pit, look, it ain't easy.
Hmm.
I mean, you're splitting wood. You're up early. You're there at 5. You're getting the fire going. And there's some therapy in there as well, right? To sit by a fire at 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning, and trying to manage that that's kind of Zen time, right? There's
Yeah, the
the birds are
campfire
chirping.
has been
Yeah,
through all of human existence, a place
right,
that we gathered and just
right.
stared at nothing
Yeah,
happening, but it was
yeah.
mesmerizing.
So I want people that want to work for somebody that's real. I want, and I'm going to tell you how it is and tell you how I feel. It may not be right,
Mm.
but it is my belief. It's the way I do things, and I'm not scared to get my hands cut up and get up early and stay up late and do the work needed to build the brand that we're trying to build. And if you want to be a part of that, look, you're going to get one of the most authentic leaders I know. I'm going to tell you how it is and how I feel at the moment. And it may not be right. I might be upset. I might be happy, whatever, but it's going to be who I am. And the people that I hire are just like me, right? They're the ones that aren't scared to do the work to get to the rewards that are going to be needed and wanted in the future.
Yeah, I think you're right or wrong. You're always going to challenge yourself to continue to evolve your thinking. That is one thing fundamentally I know about you and believe wholeheartedly about your entire approach. When I was on your show, you asked me about a post that I put out about, you should be paying people $1,000 a week. And if not, they need to ask for a raise or put in their notice. And it was really about challenging us of devaluing our labor, our emotional and physical labor, our worth. And just the fact that you're like, shit, I'm not there. How do I get there? Or what way do I represent that in a meaningful and purposeful way? That's a part of my business model. So I know you're always going to do that. So I appreciate that.
Yeah. And look, I'm not the smartest guy in the room, man. Nor do I ever want to be.
You're in the wrong room. I believe that.
Right. Yeah. So that's why, I ask questions every day. So, you got to keep learning.
It's the questions that drive me, not the answers, for sure. Make sure everybody, as always, go over to bestservpodcast.com, 6 questions with Charlie Eblen. You got some good ones. Your first job you touch on. You always got bourbon and ramen noodles. Love that pairing. You also have some really good advice for content creators, for somebody looking to start out specifically. So make sure everyone go over to bestservpodcast.com, check out that blog post. Also your bios in there. So learn a little bit more about your background. You can't tell now with the beard and the look and all that, but you kind of had a corporate trajectory there for a while. Yeah. So I love that that all of our arcs lead us eventually where we were supposed to be. We had to take a lot of detours. We had to get a lot of experience. We had to do a lot of things wrong to get this point. And that's part of the brand. People deeply need to connect to a brand. Simon Sinek talks about people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. I think that's more true than ever before. 100%. So when you're trying to give people that why, obviously for you, it's believing into the craft, it's early mornings, it's that dedication. Let's talk about the brand when it comes to an experience standpoint. When somebody walks up to the trailer, now the restaurant, what are you hoping that they feel? What is the exchange, the relationship building that's happening in that moment for you?
It's pretty simple. It's undeniable hospitality. I don't want anybody to ever walk up or leave my trailer or my restaurant and not go sit down in their car and go, man, are those people really that nice? You know what I'm saying? Like, I really want them to have that question, because I don't hire people that don't, it's Chick-fil-A kills it, right? With the, my pleasure and this, that, and the other. And they're always thank you. And we appreciate it. And, I wouldn't have a job, wouldn't be able to pay my light bill without the people that come see me. Right. So if I don't work above and beyond and harder than anybody else, or at least try to, then how can I expect them to come see me and spend their hard-earned money with me? So at the bare minimum, it's my pleasure to serve you at the bare minimum. We put everything we got into it to make sure that they have those experiences.
And that's what brand is. Brand is your ability from end to end to be you. That's it. So for anybody watching, listening, who's like, I have this concept, this thing, this family recipe that I really, truly believe in, you don't know how to bring it to fruition. Every step along your process, you have to say, does this truly represent who I am and who I'm meant to serve, right? And so I love that you've done that across the board, from the name of the brand, the location of the brand, the type of food that you're serving, that experience, who you're hiring. All of those things matter. Everything communicates. So what are you communicating in those moments? That's what branding is. So what's let's give people one kind of takeaway. What's one mistake you maybe see people, could be specifically in barbecue or across the board, when you're looking at them and you say, man, your food's great, the brand just doesn't communicate who you are, what you do, and it's confusing. Any advice that you're giving people? Anything maybe you made mistakes on? What's that one nugget that people can take away and apply to their brand?
I think you got to have a North Star, man. You got to know where you're going. And if you don't know where you're going, it's hard to know where you're at. Right. And if you don't know that, it's really, you get going down different rabbit holes of, oh, I want to do this, oh, I want to do that, oh, I want to be this,
and
I
then
want
you
to
end
be
up
that.
everything for everyone,
And then you end up everything for everyone, right? And you can't get to the point of, hey, this is who I am, this is what I do. Somebody asked me the other day that they wanted me to add something to the menu, and it's a frozen food. It's not on brand. It's not who I am, and it's because the previous restaurant that was there prior to me had this specific item. And I said, I mean, look, I told him, I said, hey, I appreciate the feedback. I love it. Thank you. I'll see what I can do. If I can figure out something that is on brand with me that we can produce to give you just, the same like item, I'll be happy to do it. But I'm not going to change my restaurant because one guest or two guests or whatever wants a particular thing that I'm not good at, that I can't produce and replicate every single day. We are very high standards, very high level of what we do. And although it is a primitive style cooking with just straight wood, you're going to get the exact same thing every single time. There's a reason why I only have 5 side items on my menu, right? There's a reason why I do brisket, pork, and ribs and sausage, and I don't have, filet mignon with a béarnaise sauce on my menu, right? There's a reason why, because I'm not that good at it. I mean, I can do it, but I'm not that good at it. So I stick with what I know. Yeah, stay focused. Keep your North Star.
It's easy to overcorrect too, right? In those moments, a lot of overcorrections. My mom was of the generation where they, saw the moon landing when they were young, and that is like crystallized in them. And she always used to tell me that to get to the moon, there's tens of thousands of course corrections of 0.00000001 degree. And that's how you get to the moon. And so when you talk about the North Star, that's always what I think about. So really appreciate that. And you talk specifically in the article, again, everyone, bestservedpodcast.com. Check out 6 Questions with Charlie Eblen. You talk about, problems in a trailer get exacerbated and multiplied when you get into a 2,000 square foot or
larger,
3,500 or 5,000 square foot. Please don't get in spaces that side. The math doesn't work anymore on those. So appreciate those pieces of advice. This was awesome, Charlie. Appreciate everything that you're doing, and I'm sure you got some work to do. You got to get ready to give some undeniable hospitality. So appreciate all the work that you're doing, and following the journey has been awesome, my friend.
Yes, sir.
All right, be good. Cheers.
Thank you. Cheers.
All right, everyone. That is it. Once again, this was Best Served Podcast 403. Say it again. Check out the article. Also, a great bio on Charlie as well, so you can kind of understand what it takes to get to where we are. All of us have a journey. All of us have a story to tell. That story is what's going to separate you. That story is what inspires me and has me have people like Charlie on the show, having done, close to 500 shows. It's all about that story. That's what truly connects us. The food, the beverage, the hospitality, that's just the medium in which we've decided to be communicators, to build relationships. All right, everyone. Appreciate you all